These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Charlie OK. Says, I know it would be very hard to have a contract if you don't know what you are going to be paid. More than likely, the companies with the contracts already know what the rate is. The contract would have to be subject to an agreed rate certain in order to be able to agree to an amount that they will agree to be paid in consideration of their services. All right, Claire's budget schedules were not published today, and that was from Wednesday. The Gazette comes out on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground Report Firefly says, TV says the budget didn't go to the president for the signature, but to publishing in Gazette. When the budget is in the Gazette, it will go live. When the budget is in the Gazette, it will go live, he says again. So that means a new exchange rate will come soon to correct that new budget because it can't handle all of these projects at a program rate, correct? Frank says that is correct. It is also the monetary reform plan of Dr. Shabibi. Bruce via Wiser Now says we got some important information from one of our sources in Iraq, very powerful. Spoke with Dr. Sadani, the Prime Minister of Iraq. He said that the rate on the dinar and the budget had been handed over to their official documentation, to their official record, but we haven't had publishing in the Gazette yet. The theory is that once we have the Iraqi dinar out with a budget in the printed version of the Gazette, we have a game over. All right, Jeff says the budget is unconstitutional and appeals have already been filed with the court. The court is going to step in. It's going to be overturned. Sampson has an article, a parliamentarian challenges the budget schedules before federal court document. Moving on to Walking Stick, Iraqi bank friend Aki highest level banking meeting update. Sadani is putting contracts in place to be implemented inside of Iraq. Sadani has been doing this with thousands of contracts. Quote, in coming days, unquote, is what they told us, that these contracts will be fulfilled in IQDs for most of the budget's projects. Those contracts will be fulfilled for their value but paid in IQDs only. All right, Militiaman has an article, quote, says the Iraqi budget is moving toward publishing and dispersing without presidential approval. Militiaman says there is no need for the president to approve the budget schedules as the budget law was passed in June 2023. When it was approved, then it allowed for the government to amend the budget. The HOR gets to distribute the operational and investment expenses, allocations, and financial dues to ministries, institutions, bodies, and government agencies, in addition to dispersing to the government's dues that are specified in the budget tables. Mark Z via PDK question, I missed what the estimates of the currency rates were. Could you give a refresher? Mark Z said no one knows for sure, but the rumors I have the most faith in are around $4 for dinar, $2.25 for the dong. We have seen rates for the dinar close to $5 recently, close to $3 for the dong on bank screens. We are not going to know the exact rate until we are exchanging, but we are hopeful those rates are close to accurate. All right, Deepwood says they've changed the rate without budgets before. No reason they can't do it at will to start the float. The key here is the size of the budget and the international standards being applied along with the upgraded banking systems. They have a plan. Watch them work it. They appear to be pushing hard in the right direction. Lastly, I've got Bruce via Wiser Now. We had rates that were flashing on bank screens over the weekend. Now, what it has to happen is these rates have been flashing, need to come in and solidify and go hard green, because if they're flashing, you're not going to be exchanging. Once they solidify and get to a hard green state, that's when you know you've got a fixed rate to work with.